And we are back. The Kentucky Derby's just 18 days away. Appreciate everyone for being here. Today we're going to take a look at Chief Wallabee, who is trying to give trainer Bill Mott and jockey Junior Alvarado back-to-back wins in the Kentucky Derby. Chief Wallabee is the son of Constitution. Constitution won both of his Grade 1 races at 9 furlongs. He's out of a Medaglia d'Oro mare. Medaglia d'Oro won the Travers at 10 furlongs. And with that note out of the way, we'll get into Chief Wallabee's races. And he debuted January 10th at Gulfstream Park going 7 furlongs. Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott is extremely patient. He's not the type of trainer that has his horses cranked up first time out. Now, these are some older tweets here, but they're still as relevant as ever. It says here, Bill Mott with 2-year-old first-time starters at Naira Track since 2008, 0 for 100 at Saratoga, 4 for 75 at Belmont Park, 1 for 23 at Aqueduct. You see down here, since 2008, Bill Mott is 0 for 109 with 2-year-old first-time starters at Saratoga. Now, these tweets were from August 5th, 2014, March 21st, 2015, so they're not currently up to date, but really throughout the entirety of his training career, Mott has been very patient and does not crank horses up to run big races first time out. And Mott is especially patient with his 2-year-olds. He's never won a Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He's never won a Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. He takes it pretty easy on his colts and gives them time to develop. You see the past performances here for Sovereignty, who won last year's Kentucky Derby. Sovereignty made his career debut at Saratoga, finished 4th. Didn't break his maiden until his 3rd career start. That was his final race as a 2-year-old, and it was an impressive 5-length win in the Grade 3 Street Sense Stakes. Sovereignty was probably as good a 2-year-old as I remember Mott ever having, and he obviously got better and better with racing. Here's the past performances for Cody's Wish. This was a horse who won back-to-back Breeders' Cup Dirt Miles. You see, it took 4 starts for this horse just to break his maiden, was 3rd in the first 3 starts of his career, didn't break his maiden until his 4th start, and then got real good. Elite Power, this is another horse who won back-to-back Breeders' Cup races. He won the Breeders' Cup Sprint 2 years in a row, and he's another horse who didn't break his maiden until career start number 4. Here's what Drosselmeyer's past performances looked like going into the Belmont Stakes. You see Drosselmeyer, 12-1 morning line for the Belmont Stakes. He won this race at a big price and went on to win the Breeders' Cup Classic later in his career. Drosselmeyer being another one of these Mott horses that didn't break his maiden until his 4th career start. Mott has always had great business, but he's probably lost some clients over the years with his patience. For a while, Mott had the Zayat Stables horses, and Sensational debuted at Saratoga for Mott, was bet to 2-1 and finished 4th, beaten almost 8 lengths in his career debut. Got transferred over to Baffert, only had this one race for Mott, but you can see here, 7-5 morning line for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Pioneer of the Nile was another one of these Zayat horses that started with Bill Mott. Pioneer of the Nile, of course, the sire of Triple Crown winner American Pharoah. He was 4th in his career debut at Saratoga for Mott, did win a maiden special weight 2nd time out, was a pretty okay 2-year-old for Mott, running 5th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Bill Mott has always been an extremely patient trainer. I'll show you a video here from 19 years ago. This is the first time I was ever on TV, and we were discussing a Grade 1 2-year-old race that had just been run at Keeneland. You can tell how unimpressed I was with this Grade 1 race because of Bill Mott 2-year-old maiden on the undercard. Had run just as good a race as any horse in this Grade 1.
Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland, which to me this year was impossible going in, and I don't know what we learned from it going out. I mean, certainly Wicked Style, who had run very well at Arlington on Polytrack in his prior effort, ran well in winning it, but what did he do? He sat in a pace that didn't collapse. The second finisher, Slews Tisnow, was second the whole way. Yeah, it had a little bit of a merry-go-round kind of race look to it, where the pace setter just went out, never got tired, and Slews Tisnow had every opportunity, and just, I thought he was a disappointment in that race. I liked his maiden win a lot, and I thought he'd be more of a factor than he was. Yeah, he looked like he was sitting with a ton in the backstretch. Yeah. And he battled back for second, but it was a distant second. I mean, a couple horses that took money in there, Fidelio, Ready Set also were wide in the first turn. Adriano, switching from the turf, had some trouble at the start, but had a good trip after that, but nobody gained any ground. And by comparison, a maiden of Bill Mott's that won earlier on the card went almost identical. Well, the race went in almost identical fractions, and the final time was very similar. So I think it may have been a bit of a weak Maybe that Bill Mott maiden will be showing up in that race. What's that horse's name so we can all score out with it later?
The name of that Bill Mott maiden was Court Vision. You see here winning the maiden race. Come back to win the Grade 3 Iroquois at 8-1 odds in his next start, and he eventually won the Breeders' Cup Mile. But yeah, I had to show you that old video there. That's about a 20-year-old video. That video is so old that Andy Serling hadn't even started working for Naira yet. He ended up going to Naira, was the TV guy for Naira, and now, of course, does the horse racing coverage for Fox. The gist of it, Mott does not crank them up early. Now we're going to watch Chief Wallabee win that debut race January 10th at Gulfstream. Chief Wallabee is number 6.
And they're off. Not a good start for the Puma. Was a good start for Nanosecond, who heads off for the early advantage from Chief Wallabee, who moves to take second. Moving at the rail, Al Arica is now moving into traffic, and up on the outside, the Puma angles for a clear shot after a slow break. Widest of all, that's Halogen, and from between horses, Municipal. Eternal Dream is the gray at the rail. The early trailer is Diamond Knife. Fanned right across the course here in the run to the opening quarter. It's Al Arica and Tyler Gaffleone challenging for control with Eternal Dream right alongside in second. It's a 4-wide commit for the Puma, 3-wide Nanosecond. All of this is good news for Chief Wallabee. He's 5th behind the speed with options on where he wants to race as they went 22-4 on the opening quarter side of things. Around the far turn they go, less than 3 furlongs remains. Javier Castellano, he's been very aggressive on the Puma. We'll see what he's got. Back to second is Nanosecond. Here's Chief Wallabee confidently handled in into third. Alarica working overtime. Halogen sent to light by jockey Joel Rosario on the far outside. They're a quarter of a mile from home through a half mile in 45-3. The Puma, he has the lead. He'll have to turn back Chief Wallabee, who angles to his flank and tries to go get him. Final 1/8 of a mile. Here comes Chief Wallabee, and he's too much for the Puma, but these two both have serious talent as they've pulled well clear of the others. It's a Bill Mott debut winner, Chief Wallabee in front. The Puma second. You'll hear from both of them all season long.
After that very impressive debut race, Chief Wallabee got put into the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth to make his second career start. He runs another excellent race this day. We'll watch it now. Chief Wallabee is number 6.
And they're off in the Fountain of Youth Stakes. Breaking outward at the start was Lost Money. Quick start for Rocky's Balboa, headed off for the early lead. Napoleon Solo is the gray, a bit wide, looking to get over. Solitude Dude is between horses. Saving ground at the rail is Jackson Hole. Commandment runs with him. Bravaro fighting the rating up over heels. Then Chief Wallabee. Bull by the Horns, the early trailer, separated by 7 lengths, chasing long shot Rocky's Balboa. Rocky's Balboa to the opening quarter, in front by a length. Solitude Dude second. Up on the outside, Napoleon Solo is now third. Tucked in fourth is Jackson Hole. From between horses, Commandment races from 5th. For company on his outside, it's Lost Money. Then it's a length back to Chief Wallabee ahead of Bravaro, and Bull by the Horns is last. The opening quarter was 23 seconds flat. Legit fractions put up by Rocky's Balboa, who goes to the first finish line a length in front. Racing on his flank second, Solitude Dude, and on his outside, Napoleon Solo. Traveling along in fourth is Jackson Hole, a length and a half in front of Lost Money. From between horses and moving up now is Commandment with Chief Wallabee. Then Bravaro dropping to last now is the long shot Lost Money with Bull by the Horns just ahead of him. They went the opening half mile in 46-4, and now the pace quickens. Moving to take the lead, Solitude Dude in front now by a head. Up on the outside, Napoleon Solo second. Commandment needs room. Moving up on the outside and challenging is Chief Wallabee. Dropping back is Rocky's Balboa. They reach the first finish line, top of the stretch mark. On the outside, Chief Wallabee lays down the challenge to Solitude Dude. Commandment with a big opening toward the rail. The Red Sea parts for Commandment, and he's charging after Chief Wallabee to the first finish line. Commandment on the inside, Chief Wallabee to the outside. Commandment with the momentum. Chief Wallabee makes him earn it. Commandment, Chief Wallabee. Commandment wins the Fountain of Youth. It's Commandment for the money narrowly over Chief Wallabee second.
All right, so that was a heck of a horse race there. Commandment just getting the better of Chief Wallabee. And from there, it was on to the Florida Derby. You see, it was 2-1 morning line for the Florida Derby. We're going to go ahead and watch that now. All right, Chief Wallabee is breaking from the rail, but he's wearing saddlecloth number 2.
Florida Derby. And they're off. Good start for Wayne's Law on his outside, Timeless Victory, and in between them, nearly got away cleanly. Chief Wallabee is out the rail. He's on a hold from Junior Alvarado and races in fourth. The two at the back are the Puma and Commandment. Around the first turn they go. They're chasing long shot Wayne's Law, who's on top by a length and a half. Second is Nearly. He's in a comfortable position in a flanking role with Chief Wallabee third at the inside. Back to fourth in Timeless Victory, Patient at the back, Commandment and the Puma. The field separated by 4 lengths as they pass the opening quarter. That opening quarter was quite reasonable, just 24 seconds flat. Wayne's Law the leader. John Velasquez has Nearly right where he wants him, on the hip of the leader while in the clear second. Junior Alvarado is tucked in third with Chief Wallabee from Timeless Victory, who's now fourth. Castellano guides the Puma to the clear. He's up on the outside second last. And at the back of the field is a Patient Flavian Pratt on Commandment, last of the 6 with less than 5 furlongs to race. The opening half mile was 48-4. As they make their way to the final half mile of the 75th Florida Derby, it's Nearly turning up the pressure on Wayne's Law. Timeless Victory is third. Locked in the box is Chief Wallabee. On the far outside, it's the Puma. He's poised to pounce. A gap of 2 more to Commandment, who's at the back of the field as the pace quickens and they swing around the far turn. Castellano moving on the Puma. He gets within a half a length of Nearly, who tries to quicken away. Dropping back to third is Wayne's Law. Swung to the center. Commandment working to the clear, Chief Wallabee. Less than a quarter of a mile to go, and the Puma has made the lead. The Puma sticks a neck in front of Nearly as they straighten away in the stretch drive. Chief Wallabee trying to angle off their flank down the center, Commandment. The 4 big shots with an eighth of a mile more to decide it. The Puma has the lead. Running at him from the outside is Commandment. In between horses, Chief Wallabee. A thrilling finish to the Florida Derby. Here comes Commandment. The Puma tries to turn him back. It's a win photo. It's an inch and a half either way.
All right, that was Chief Wallabee finishing third in the Florida Derby. And news broke yesterday. Here it says, still a little green. Chief Wallabee may add blinkers for Kentucky Derby. So we're going to take a look at the stretch run of the Florida Derby again. And Chief Wallabee is a horse who does have a tendency to run with his head cocked a bit. And maybe that's what Mott is referring to when he says that he's still a little green. You'll see here. And Chief Wallabee's going to gallop out huge after this race. I have a feeling that, hate to use a golf analogy here, but Mott's not going to want to leave his putt short. He's going to take a shot at the Kentucky Derby, and if he's going to miss, he's not going to leave the putt short. But you see Chief Wallabee galloping out really past this field here. There's the Puma in third. There's Commandment. Commandment's a horse that usually gallops out pretty strong, too. And Chief Wallabee was in front on the gallop out. So why not take a shot? Why not add the blinkers? And as for blinkers, for people who don't know, and if you're still watching this, I'm sure you do, it's a hood that restricts the vision of horses. When horses add blinkers, they tend to show a lot more early speed. Blinkers basically improve a horse's focus, concentration, and just has a tendency to get them to show more early speed in races. I'll show you an example of a horse that's going to run in the Kentucky Derby who improved significantly after adding blinkers. All right, this is Pavlovian, who will be running in the Kentucky Derby January 17th at Santa Anita. He's in a 175,000 stake, going 1 1/16. He's the number 9 horse. He's not wearing blinkers in this race. You can see right now in the gate, he's looking to his inside at this number 7 horse to his inside. But watch the race he runs this day. Number 9, Pavlovian.
And they're off in the California Chrome Cal Cup Derby. And Sammy Davis, no surprise, goes straight to the front, but almost there, has plenty of early speed. And Smoothin' Saturday is just behind them, racing in third. Fianello races fourth. And down at the rail, My Boy Stan is close up, only 2.5 or so off the lead. Then Start the Ride. John Metcalf did not have a smooth beginning at all. And he races 3/4 of a length in front of Cruise Home. Start the Ride is just in front of that pair, and it's a gap of 5 to Pavlovian. Also awkward out of the gate. They move on to the backstretch and almost there, intent on getting to the front. Takes command and opens up a 1.5 on Sammy Davis. Outside of him, Smoothin' Saturday moves into second. Fianello Extreme outside. Start the Ride is 5th. Only 3 lengths off the lead. John Metcalf, My Boy Stan, Cruise Home And now a 4 or 5 wide bid from Pavlovian. Less than 6 lengths covers the field into the far turn. And Hector Berrios asks Sammy Davis to go. And he seizes command over almost there. Opening up a length and a half. Make it 2. Fianello on the outside. Start the ride. Smoothing Saturday under serious pressure. Pavlovian is just outside of him. Down at the rail comes Cruz home. A quarter of a mile to go. And Sammy Davis cuts the corner and has opened up a 4-length lead. He's chased intently now by Start the Ride, who's closing the gap with each and every stride. Down at the rail, Cruz home and Pavlovian. Here comes Start the Ride and Armando Ayuso with all the momentum. Going by Sammy Davis. Start the Ride has won the California.
All right, so that was Pavlovian racing without blinkers. You saw before the break he was looking to his left. Here he is at the break with his head straight up in the air. Pavlovian's next 2 starts came in blinkers. He won his next start at 5-1 odds in the Sunland Derby and then was second at 21-1 odds in the Louisiana Derby. And in the Louisiana Derby, he went 22 and change for the first quarter and was on the lead. That is how blinkers can enhance speed. You see here just the lack of concentration. Pavlovian doesn't look like much of a speed horse here, does he? He's back a long way last. The rider's pushing and shoving on him right now. And the rider's actually going to resort to the whip here. Watch, he's going to move the whip to his left hand. Now, you only get 6 whips in a race. He's going to start hitting this horse left-handed. Here, 1 crack, 2 cracks of the whip. So Pavlovian just got a couple cracks of the whip. You only got 6 whips, and now he's really taken off. But he's going to get caught 4 or 5 wide through the far turn here. And here's Pavlovian through the lane. He's still finishing good. The rider used all his whips. He's got no more whips left to hit him, can only hit him 6 times. But Pavlovian, no blinkers this race. Put the blinkers on next time. Won at 5-1 in the Sunland Derby. A good second at 21-1 in the Louisiana Derby. And those were his 2 starts after this race. I got to be honest here, in the case of Chief Wallabee, I don't see that level of greenness in his races. He does have a tendency to cock his head. And Bill Mott's a Hall of Fame trainer for a reason. I mean, if he says the horse is a little bit green, you got to take his word for it, I guess. But if you like Chief Wallabee in the Kentucky Derby, you're betting him on the come. You're not betting him for, what you've seen in his 3 races. And he's done nothing wrong in his 3 races. They've been 3 very good races. But it's just a case of in Bill Mott we trust. Could this be an improving Bill Mott horse? You're just hoping that this horse has a big forward move in him. And quite frankly, most Bill Mott horses will improve in their 4th race. That's usually when they start to get good, is in their 4th race. So Chief Wallabee, he's going to need to find a little more to be competitive in the Kentucky Derby. Bill Mott's going to roll the dice and put blinkers on him. If you're betting him on the come, hoping he can step forward and run a better race than he's shown yet. And one thing about those addition of blinkers with Chief Wallabee, like I said, horses can show surprising early speed when they add them, and Palace Malice was an example. Todd Pletcher added blinkers for Palace Malice in the Kentucky Derby. He was kind of green in the Bluegrass Stakes, finished second in the Bluegrass at 1 1/8, and that's when Keeneland was a synthetic track. Pletcher rolled the dice with Palace Malice, added blinkers in the Kentucky Derby, and he just ran off in them. Sometimes horses can get a little too sharp and focused in them and run off early. Palace Malice opened up a 3 1/4 length early lead in the Kentucky Derby, went 45-1, 109-4, understandably spit the bit and finished 12th, beaten over 13 lengths. Pletcher took the blinkers off for the Belmont Stakes next time at 1.5 miles. And on this day, Palace Malice put it all together. He relaxed in 5th. He was placed 5th behind a pace that wasn't as fast as the Derby was, and he rallied to win the Belmont Stakes clear, going away by over 3 lengths. Palace Malice being the case of a horse that was genuinely green early in his career, a little bit green. They tried to fix that with the blinkers. The blinkers just made him too aggressive. But Pletcher was able to get the horse to relax. He put it all together, and the light bulb went on in the Belmont Stakes, and you see he came right back to win the Jim Dandy nicely in 147-1. So that's Chief Wallabee trying to give Bill Mott and Junior Alvarado another Kentucky Derby win. He'll be making just his 4th career start in the Kentucky Derby. And if you're betting him, you're putting your faith in Bill Mott and you're betting him on the come. I think his 3 races are all pretty good, but they're not good enough. He's going to need to find more in his 4th start. But anytime you get a Bill Mott trained 4th-time starter, there is always a strong possibility of room for improvement there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, everyone.